Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Let's talk about the Big Brother Canada finale, history making.
Such a good season altogether. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And if you want to support us on Patreon, there's a link in the description.
Speaking of Patreon, we have a patron's birthday. Happy birthday, Henri.
Henri, happy birthday. This is your birthday song.
It isn't very long.
Hey!
Yeah.
How was the timing on that?
Look, we are not in the same room. We have to revamp the song.
Right.
But what's important is, Enrique, we appreciate your support and happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, happy birthday. Okay, before we talk about, obviously, epic 2-hour season finale tonight, but we got to talk about Wednesday's episode too, because that was a really good episode.
Oh my God, it was such a good episode. Yes. Okay, tonight was the finale. We have to say congratulations, Ty.
Yes.
You took it.
Well deserved.
You did it. But yeah, let's back it up a smidge, because this Wednesday veto feeds were down. So we did not know. We knew Tara won, but we did not know who she was going to evict.
Yeah.
And wow, watching it. First off, just BBCan, so dramatic in these comps.
So dramatic.
I mean, I love it. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, the comps are good. And I love that, you know, Arissa surprised them. They're like fully in their pajamas. And she's like, get to the living room. Tara's hair is all messed up. And she's like, surprise special eviction. And they're like, not amused. They're like, what are you talking about? They're not expecting
I enjoyed because that's real time for us. It was like a flashback for the show, but like they had already played Veto through the night, woke up, you know, the next morning and are like, what are we doing today?
Yeah.
You know, interruption by Arissa. And then they show us the comp. I really kind of liked that format.
Me
that
too.
Was fun.
That was fun. Yeah. So this Veto is really cool. First of all, they're like in elaborate costumes. They go to this like crazy set. It's kind of like an escape room where they have to find clues and piece things together. That was so much fun. And then the second part of it, where they like have to solve another puzzle and it's raining on them. It just was like very well produced. I liked this challenge a lot.
They're like old-timey detectives in such cute little outfits. And I just have to say, like, Tara's hat, you guys probably didn't notice, but I love an old-timey hat. She had this cute little hat. And I like these are all old-timey hats. I know it's hard to tell.
Who knew?
But like, exactly, who knew? But I was like, it's probably this one. It looked just like that one. Anyway.
Does it have a name? Or you just have the pictures on that thing?
Well, this is from the Mysteries, Miss Fisher's Mysteries.
Okay.
Phryne Fisher is the best fictional character in the world. She's an old-timey lady detective. But anyway, I digress.
I love it.
Look, I never framed it. I just propped it in front of another photo. That's how I roll. Anyway.
You are a set designer, Sarah.
Totally. No, BBCan did it better.
Yes.
Okay, so they're figuring out all these codes. They're going from one clue to the next. Then they go to the whole second. Like, you're like, there's a wardrobe change in a second part. Like, what's happening right now? And then they bust through a wall, which turns out to be maybe you don't want to bust through a wall. Because, David, if you're approaching a wall full of numbers, do you look at the numbers?
Yes.
Do you look at the numbers and the colors? And then do you bust down the whole wall?
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to look at the numbers and I'm going to try to look at the colors, Sarah. But I'm going to be frustrated as a colorblind person that there are colors, you know? But Tara has the right move, right? I mean, it seems sort of like in the first part, like maybe it's like pretty even. I will say it was funny seeing Tashawn just like look around the room for the ringing phone and he like can't find where to pick up the phone. It's like, look on the desk for the phone. Yeah, that's where it is.
That's usually where phones are.
But Tara did such a good job. And I mean, her size helps her here of just squeezing through the smallest possible hole in this wall.
But she at least had the mindset of like, I'm going to make this small this whole small
Yeah.
for this reason. Whereas I think it was just so enticing to knock down a wall that the dudes were like, here I come. And then they were like, dang it, I gotta rebuild this. And there were some tricky times of rebuilding. Did they get it right? But overall, Tara smoked it.
She did. I mean, she was stressed at the wall part because she had that moment where one of the bricks was like placed wrong, and it of course is one where it like makes the 9 look like a 4. So then she's like beating herself up about all the extra time that took. Little does she know, like Braden fully just demolished the entire wall before realizing that he's going to have to go back and rebuild. And all of the guys are just bigger, and so they require more blocks to be knocked down as they go through,
Absolutely. Ultimately, Tara was 9 minutes faster than the next person. Which
is great because she's on the block. And it was great that it came down to Tara and Kiefer, both of whom were on the block. And then Tara wins it. It's just like the continuation of this Tara comeback story is so epic. And she just like is winning comps. Like who'd have thought, that she would be someone who's competing like this at the end of the game.
It was, it's incredible. And now the decision solely lies in her hands. Who does she take out, Kiefer or Braden?
Yeah.
And of course, BBCan delivers us the most dramatic section here of like, who is she going to choose?
Yeah. I mean, it's so great when they take it kind of back to this real time. She's like all dressed up and, Kiefer and Braden are both trying to make their case, she's pulling people aside. She's pulling Ty aside because she wants his input or whatever. And I think she's kind of trying to suss out like what's going on with Ty and Braden. Do I need to break them up or do I need to get Kiefer out? Like it really is a hard decision for her here because
it is.
For either way, the reasons are multiple to get them out, But Kiefer's making an emotional play about his family and, saying how hard it was for him to cut her during the fake double eviction. Of course, it was the hardest decision he made in the whole game.
Yes. This is a perfect time to bring that up. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I liked her talk with Ty because Ty was trying to stay impartial. He was not trying to make it seem like he's got a final 2 with Braden. He really didn't want to be like, you got to get rid of Kiefer.
But ultimately, he's like,
Tara's but tell me.
Yeah.
Come on, tell me.
He's like, okay, I mean, gun to my head, I guess Kiefer, I would get Kiefer out. He's the big dog. You got to go for him,
And he's not wrong. He says Kiefer has to go. No one beats him in the final 2. And that is a true statement. We know it. The jury has also said it. Like, there's just no beating Kiefer. Of course, the concern here for Tara is, do I even make it to the final 2, though?
Exactly.
Leaving Braden and Ty together.
Exactly. It's so much more complicated, I think, for Tara specifically here. Anybody else, I think it's an easier decision.
Yeah.
Because they would probably just get rid of Tara. Or no, actually, they would probably get rid of Kiefer and kind of have no qualms about it because they, Ty and Braden still kind of feel like we're good. So this is especially hard for Tara. But ultimately, she gives a great speech, I thought. Of course, she vetoes herself. And she's like, you're King Kiefer. You're the best. And nobody can beat the best. And so I have to evict you. And of course, it's just waterfalls of tears from these people. Like every week, they are personally devastated at whoever's going home.
Yes. This was such a good edit for Kiefer. And I really think it helped play into, because they then quickly are like, hey, Canada, vote for your favorite after we just delivered this very emotional episode about Kiefer and how everyone loves him and how wonderful he is and how he has a family. And it was really hard to cut him, but he did Canada proud. And so off he goes, tears. And even Arissa was emotional talking to him.
She could barely get her questions out. She was so sad he was gone. Like, that's the kind of investment I want from my Big Brother host. I do love Chenbot. Don't get me wrong.
Yes,
I love that Julie does not care at all. She's a robot, right? But like, this is just, it's so charming to see her holding back tears for someone that she's just meeting for the second time. She ushered him into the house and now he's out. Like, it's so sweet.
I think she meets them. She's an executive producer. I think she's in on the casting.
Sure. Okay. But I mean, still, I think with
But
pandemic stuff, like they
still,
probably didn't get to
it
meet
was
them as much as
virtual.
maybe they would
Or,
normally, you know? Yeah.
yes. No, I agree. I agree.
But
But
really sweet.
very sweet, very dramatic. And, ultimately they're all like, Kiefer, you're a legend. And off he goes.
Yeah.
And that is our Wednesday episode, leading us into this Thursday final three. And I got to be honest, I'm just like, any one of them deserves it.
Anyone.
And I feel like I feel like whoever wins the final three HOH takes it. I just felt like all the scenarios, it came down to that. So that's why tonight was like super, super exciting.
It really was great. And, they start off with this like incredible recap of the entire season, but then just kind of take us directly into part one of the HOH. And I could not agree with you more. Like, these three players are so strong. I think Kiefer said it in Wednesday night's episode. There are no floaters even in the final four. Like, all of us deserve this. So it's still
no
true.
Coasters.
Final three.
He meant no coasters, because Braden is absolutely a floater and he nailed it. He was one of the best floaters I've seen in a long, long time. But what he meant was no one coasted there.
No one was dragged.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. But first, before we get to part one, did you see the recap? The intro? This was our season. Like, the way the episode started tonight was like this amazing
drama.
Like the way they just do the production.
I know.
You're good.
They love a movie trailer to start off an episode, and it was like 2 years in the making, and we're going back to BBCan9 that gets shut down.
We were like
and
hearing
it's basically like a recap of COVID, like that's how much drama is in this package.
It was such a good recap that I just need to save it for like anytime someone's like, why? I don't get it. Why are you into this show, Big Brother? And I'll be like, here, watch this recap.
Let me just play this for you.
It just sums it up so perfectly.
Yep.
But now, we're in this again, another dramatic competition. The three of them at part one of HOH. We've got a hoverboard that we're sliding, we're stacking things, we're going back and forth. You've got 4 hours, they say, to get 60 discs.
When they said 4 hours on the clock, I was like, surely that's too much, right? They're not going to use the whole time. It can't be that hard.
I was like, wait, we're gonna go 4 hours here? Like, this is insane. And then we use up when they get to the part where they're like 10 minutes left. I was like, 10 minutes left.
Yeah. And I didn't know that they were gonna go to this sudden death. I thought it was just gonna be whoever has the most discs on their hoverboard at the end of this 4 hours wins. But no, it's like, no, someone's gonna outright win this through skill. But the 60 discs was just too much, apparently. And I just kept thinking as they were moving these hoverboards back and forth. I mean, it's great to hear them talking about like inertia and all of these things and like the very delicate touch you have to have with this. But I'm thinking, like, if there's even a speck of dirt on these, railings that they're wheeling down, that's gonna cause the thing to topple. Like, it's so tough, this challenge.
It seemed really tough. It clearly was too tough because production was like, okay, never mind. All right, forget that last 4 hours. Yeah. Let's do it again. But this time you can carry more. And you only have to get up to 40. How about that, 40. Guys? How about that? I mean, because they legitimately were like breaking down. They're getting up to like 55. Yeah.
So that's what I was just about to say. Like 40 feels doable because they were close to 60 several times. Yeah. And are just now absolutely losing their minds because they can't quite get to 60. But I think they're all sort of like, okay, well, 40 I've done. So like, let's go. We can do this. I will say both of parts of the HOH tonight, it's so mean to make them crawl under things. That just like your knees, your back for 4 hours. Like, that is brutal, but they're running, right? When the sudden death portion starts, they are sprinting down to the end. And I think they're all sort of like re-energized, like, I can do this. And Braden pulls it out. I couldn't believe it.
Ty, they all had it, and then Ty drops, right? And then Brayden is able to push through, and he gets the win. And at this point, you're just like, I can do 40. Let's go. And so they're flying through it. Here we are. Brayden wins. And so we now are going to do part 2 between Ty and Tara. And this one is just as hard.
Just as hard, not quite as competitive. So they have to answer questions, around this triangle, and they're knocking off blocks to get the correct number left standing for what is the answer to the question. I'm sure it happened, but I'm surprised we didn't see more of them accidentally knocking off the number that they were trying to keep, because that had to have happened multiple times where your aim is a little bit off, but I'm sure there was plenty of footage to use without that, but
they were definitely, editing through it. But you saw their aim was just bad in general. Yeah. Oh, and I'm supposed to ask you, was Tara's throwing better or worse than Veto's?
Better. It was better.
Tara got it. Tara got that toss. She did. She had a good little throw there. Yeah. But both of them are like missing a little bit with the throwing. And again, going under that thing, like you said, it's just like, oh, that seems brutal. The hardest.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Oh.
And then there seemed, at least editing wise, there seemed like one question really tricked them up that they had to like go back and go back and go back and go back. So they both kind of felt frustrated. But no, not really. That was just editing, because when we get the times.
Oh boy. It's literally like, Ty, you're the winner with 11 minutes and 41 seconds. And I was like typing in my notes like, oh, I wonder what Tara's time is.
Yeah.
As Brayden then says, Tara, you did a great job with 49 minutes and 11 seconds.
Oh, I thought I had written it down wrong, because I was like, wait, did he say 11 then? Because she got 49.
Yeah, right. Saying, Tara, you did a great job. That's a mischaracterization of what happened. She did not do a great job.
Tara, you took almost an hour, and Ty did it in like no time
10
at
minutes.
all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was cray. So congrats, Ty. Here we are. We have a tie, and Brayden going to the final part of the HOH. And at this point, Tara, this is when we know we're going to say goodbye to Tara.
It's over for you. Yeah. And I think she kind of knows, she's like, as we're sort of wrapping up part 2 of the HOH, she's saying like, love you guys. I'm so happy for you. I'm proud of you. She kind of knows. We don't even really see much campaigning, after this, because I doubt it happened.
Well, Brayden promised her he'd cut Ty. And the feed's cut, so we don't know what the last couple days are.
Yeah.
Ty and Brayden could have just not even talked to her ever again. And we're like, just kidding. We're taking each other. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Who knows what kind of conversations they could have had. But we're going into the part 3 of this HOH. But first we get a jury segment with Anthony.
Yes.
Now we don't know Anthony, because this is our first
I was
Canada
like
season.
trying to Google it. I was like, wait a minute, I missed his name. So I'm Googling like BBCan Final Twos and trying to like figure out who he is. But great. It's tough when somebody has a mask on, I have no idea who that is.
But you know what? With mask, he still looked good. He had great shoes. I loved his shoes.
Great outfit.
They were like velvet or something. And Vic and Kiefer seemed super excited to see Anthony. And Twitter seemed really excited. So I'm going to take it that people love Anthony.
Legend.
Yeah. And he had some questions for the jury. And guess what? Beth is still better.
Beth is a better juror, and finally she admits it. But when Kiefer joins them, of course they're like, oh man, like Kiefer, you were the best. You had to go. Like they all kind of get it. But at the same time, I think they were all thinking like, if Kiefer's there, we're voting for him. And so when Kiefer showed up, they were like, okay, now I have to like recalibrate what I'm thinking about here. And Beth seemed to be coming around on Ty's game mid-interview, as people are kind of explaining why it's so good. She's like, wait a minute. Yeah. He did do a good job.
Yeah. Stop being so mad that he got you out. I mean, that was another thing that she was like, why am I here? I should still be in the house. And you're like, there's a whole jury
You
full
gotta
of
move
people who
on.
would like to still be in the house. That's just not how the game went. But so Kiefer just plops himself down and is like, yeah, no, you guys, Ty was playing a really good game. Like, Ty was in on these moves. Like, I couldn't do things without Ty. Like, and they're like, oh yeah, okay,
yeah. But also lots of love for Tara. You know, they were all saying like, respect to her for getting this far. Like, none of us ever saw it as possible. And I think for a lot of them, you know, until the reality is that until Tina was evicted, Tara was not playing her own game. So, you know, for them to see kind of how she blossomed and finally emerged as her own player post Tina, they're saying like, okay, this woman, like, good for her. She was evicted. She fought her way back. She's won these comps. Judson is saying like, if she's in final 2, like, I could see myself voting for her if she can make it that far.
And honestly, I agree. I think had she made it to the final 2, she wins hands down. It was kind of like a Kiefer thing. She got Kiefer out, and then she's been given to win. If she, you know, she got Jed out, she got Kiefer out, she battled her way back. Like, her story was so good at this point.
Because if she had made it to final 2, she probably also would have gotten Ty out. And to have Jed, Kiefer, and Ty as your, you know, casualties for the game, in addition to her comp wins and battling back from eviction, like, that's huge resume.
Seal it. She wins. Absolutely. Wasn't going to be, but she deserves some props for sure.
And Brayden, I was also kind of surprised at how much people were like, we love Brayden's game. Like, he had such a good social game. Victoria's like, he's got my vote. Like,
I was shocked
praising him as well.
That. I was like, you love Ty. What are you talking about? He's got your vote.
Exactly.
You love Ty. But yeah, no, Brayden's social game is so lit, and they were given respect to it for sure. The final 3 are now sitting there. They're looking so good. What a good looking final 3. Hello.
Tara's like, I got all dressed up to go out and sit on the jury, but okay.
Okay, that's all right. That's the game. That's how it goes. And then again, BBCan's like, you like an intro? Because we got one for you. The way that like the two stand up, Ty and Brayden, and walk off, and then they're like doing these blocks, and they're like, Tara can only sit and watch. And then it's like the drama and the thing. What?
Yes.
Give these people
it's great. It's very good. Yeah, right.
Give them another season. Do all the things that you're supposed to do. So
it's
good.
Really good. Yeah. And the final comp is, of course, like a memory comp. And Sarah, it could have gone to a tiebreaker.
Could have.
But it didn't. And Brayden watching him realize that he got the answer wrong before Arissa even said it. And then she announces, it's just like, oh, devastating. Like, you could have maybe pulled it out, but you just rang in too quickly before you really thought it through. It's tough.
Yeah, it was tough. It was close.
Yeah.
Ty pulls it out. Yeah. We were going to have the same final 2 no matter what, but I do think it helps to have that win and choose who you're going to sit next to. So Ty gets this win. He is the final HOH. This is only the second time. Well, no, it's technically the third time that he's won HOH. The first one was that fake double eviction.
Yeah.
But he won these last 2 HOHs that are so, so important to keep you in the game. And he chooses to take Brayden to the final 2.
And I'll tell you what, I love this speech. No bones about it. Just, Tara, you're white, so you got to go. That's what he said. He's like, I want a black person to win.
More elegantly than that.
But like, I loved it. It was no like, you're a huge threat to win, which is also true. Like, he definitely could have been like, Tara, you have such an amazing resume. And like, I truly think that I have a better chance of winning if I sit next to Brayden. No niceties here. Tara, I'm sorry. I want a black person to win BB Canada. You got to go. And I'm like, yes. Because Ty is completing what Davon started. Okay?
Hey, yes.
This is the climax of all of that.
Yes, absolutely. And just having 2 black men in the final 2. Like, that alone. Hello. I love to see it. Not to mention 2 very attractive men. I'm like, this final 2.
It's a smoke show.
Frame it and put it on your wall. I mean,
my God.
Gorgeous. And social games that are just like, hello.
I know. Everybody loved both of them.
Ty's smile, I think, was like half his game. You just look at that smile and you're like, yeah, what do you need? Oh, he's coming for you. I will evict that person.
Yeah. And who else? Sorry, who did you say I'm voting for? Okay, got it. Oh, yeah, okay, great.
There was a lot of this around Ty. And I get it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so Tara leaves and, you know.
God, I'm choking on Ty's hotness.
Yeah. We've all been there, Sarah. But Tara leaves. She's getting interviewed by Arissa, and she basically is like, I'm Team Brayden at the end of it. She's like, no hard feelings. I had the best time. You know, she essentially, if we're thinking back to that epic argument she had with Victoria, where she was like, I don't want to go to the jury house. She did that. She did not go to the jury house.
She did not.
So
I really feel like they said, you don't deserve to be here. And she said, challenge accepted.
Yeah.
What's that? I just walked out on stage on finale night. You guys have been sitting in jury. Okay.
Yeah.
But she did, like Tara and Brayden did have a connection. They were working together a bit from earlier on in the game. She never really worked with Ty. Like they got along, but she said many times, like, God, Ty's had it so easy. Like, he's never been nominated. He doesn't even have to win comps because people are just doing the work for him. And so I don't think, I don't think she's.
Yeah. I mean, it's Ty has played a really masterful game, but he has not had to like scrape and scratch and like try to get off the block
like
and the way that she did and the way that Brayden has, Right. So definitely, I think she's got that loyalty to the oddballs thing, and she just has no problem being like, I'm going to be voting for Brayden.
Yeah. So now, how'd you feel about this jury questioning segment here? Jury, obviously, they're going to do a question to each of them. Yeah.
It's uneven only because like Brayden gets one more question than Ty because there's an uneven number of jurors. I thought for the most part that Brayden kind of got like more softball questions than Ty did. Like people really came out. I mean, Victoria was like really spicy to Ty. Oh you think you had me? Yeah. And then, there's questions about like, prove to us that you weren't a third wheel to Beth and Jedson. And Brayden's getting things like, when did you start to play your own game? And why do you deserve to win over Ty? Like kind of easier questions to navigate,
Yeah. I think Brayden, maybe because they were easier, Brayden answered them very well. He was obviously prepared. He had little bullet points of things he wanted to say. And it sounded to me like he was like, yes, and I also use Ty. And yes, I did have to pivot at this point, and I had to, play a different game. Whereas I think Ty knew he was going to be attacked, and he was like on the defensive from the get-go. Of course, it doesn't help that Vic was like the first question and she came in super hot. And so he was like, oh crap, here we go. And like, I felt like he was like yelling at sometimes, like almost having arguments with them. And I was like, you got the points, Ty. It's okay.
Calm down. Yeah, it's okay. He's like very kinetic. Like the camera's having a hard time tracking him as he's moving, because he's just really like moving all over the place. And, Beth's question was also kind of aggressive to him about like, you lost my vote. Here's your chance to win it back. Say your piece. Like, it's not even really a question. She's just like, what are you going to say to win my vote back?
Yeah. And I honestly loved it because Beth comes in hot. She's like, you lost my vote, jury management. And then he was like, Beth, jury management is not having one conversation as people leave. And she was like, her face literally changed, David. She was like, what? That's what she did. And I was like, you cannot be the representative for jury management when that's literally what you did. You walked up to people the day they left and you were like, can you tell people about my game? That's horrible jury management. Ty's like, no, I played the whole game for people to like me, not just one conversation. And so I don't know that he answered it well. I couldn't tell again because he was yelling.
No, I couldn't either. I know.
But he did have a good point.
He did.
That did seem like it sunk in a little.
It did. Yeah. Her face is kind of like, okay, good answer, fair points. But you're right. Like he's just like super salesy here. You know, he's like up like bada bing, like here's my game, and just talking really loudly. Brayden was much more comfortable and natural and just kind of like selling it without overselling it, I thought, you know?
Yeah. So after this jury questioning, I'm like trying to figure out who's voting for who, and I've got it 3-4, and I can't tell who.
I thought it was close.
Out. Yeah. I thought Brayden might have won the questioning over, but that there were some just set given votes for tie. So I thought it was super, super close. And I just honestly
did too, because as good of a game as I felt Ty played, there were some things that I felt just weren't landing right in his argument. Like even in his final pitch, he's kind of following up on the question that Tina asked, where she was like, what moves did you make on your own? Right. Like you really are reading as a third wheel. And he kind of revisits that in his final pitch. And he's like, I partnered with people who would make the big moves for me. But he doesn't really explain like, Jedson made this move that I told him to make. You know, he's not really owning it. He's just saying like, I used people as a shield effectively. Yeah. And then they both got cut off in their final pitches, which was like kind of disappointing because you want to feel it come to like some conclusion other than Arissa being like, time, that was a minute. Sorry.
That's a minute. Cut you off. Yeah. I mean, I kind of like that they're so harsh with like the audio will fade and you will not be talking anymore. But I was like, dang, a minute. And like, they neither one of them really got to be like, and that is why I should be. It wasn't
exactly
none of that. But we had some cute segments. We got a great diversity segment. Yes. We got a how messy is this house segment.
Oh my God. And the fight recap of all the fights of the season was amazing. Cause like, that's what we live for, the drama, you know? So like all these packages are super good. We did get also like the first 5 house guests are zooming in, you know, nothing too notable there, but I will say LaToya was kind of spicy.
Hello. Yeah, no, she definitely was like, I will use my time wisely. And you guys ruined Sunsetters.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah. And
everyone
then
else was like, cute. And she's like,
cute.
no, I have comments.
I have points to make here. Kyle and Austin apparently are still talking, maybe going to hang out. And Austin was so proud of Bray. I thought, you know, it was interesting to hear her talk about like, you're welcome, Brayden, because
I know, unfortunately, the way that question was phrased, I was like, I hope that Austin's feelings aren't hurt to be like, you leaving is the best thing to ever happen to Brayden's game. But like, yes, it helped his game. So I appreciated Austin's answer because it's not like you leaving was the best thing ever.
Right. No, it was just sort of like
helpful.
It helped him to kind of like fall off the radar for some people.
Yep. Beth received all the points. Who's the messiest? All directed straight to Beth.
Yep.
And I think she didn't realize that was coming at her. Don't think she knew.
Probably not. But
well,
congrats, Beth.
Let's get to the votes. Yeah. Was that it? Was there anything else in these segments that you loved? It was, again, beautiful production value. I love it all. I love all the segments. But now I'm like, who is it? Who's going to win?
Who is it? And they had cast their votes like earlier in the show before all these packages and whatnot. And of course they have all of their little like, you know, mysterious lines, like who am I actually voting for? But I definitely felt like Jedson's was obviously Ty because he was like loyal to the soil and there's a reindeer reference and that felt like that was directed at Ty. And then Tara saying something about oddballs, like the oddball who whatever had the best luck. I don't know. She obviously voted for Brayden, but other than that, I was kind of like, probably could go either way with these people.
Yeah, I agree. I could tell Tara was definitely saying Brayden. I could tell Jed was definitely saying Ty. And I was like, ooh, so is Beth going to go with her man, Jed, and vote that way? Or is she going to hold strong and refuse to give it to him? But also Vic had said earlier, like, I'm giving Brayden my vote. And then all of a sudden we heard her go, oh God, now I'm confused. I don't know what to do. Like as she's walking up there. So I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how Tina was going to vote. I kind of thought Rohan was going to vote Brayden. I put him on the Brayden side, but here we are. it doesn't even get close.
No.
Arissa just gives us the first 4 votes. They're all for Ty. We got Vic for Ty.
It's
I was
over.
like, wait, what? And then Ro for Ty. I was like, okay, Ty's got it, obviously. And then Tina for Ty and Jed for Ty. Ty's the winner.
Ty's the winner. Yeah, it ended up being 6-1. Tara was the only vote for Brayden. And she's cute. She's like, I told him he had my vote, loyalty, whatever.
I know. She was almost like apologetic. Like, I mean, I told him I was like, there should have been more.
There should have been more. He played a great game.
More. Yes. Yeah. But obviously, Ty is going to win this season. I mean, they played for him because there's something about him, right? Yep, whatever that social game is, they shielded him. And so they can't help it. They want to vote for him in the end.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And he did win these last 2 HOHs. That's, that's when you need to win.
That's right. He came alive in a huge way. And he did make the points of like, I was the one who made the decision to break up the trio and my alliance and things like this. So he made the big moves at the right time, and it's not always the flashiest game necessarily, but the fact that he made it through this whole season without ever seeing the block. I mean, impressive that on both sides, that Ty never saw the block, that Brayden saw the block 5 times and never had a vote cast against him. Like, good for both of them, but I do think I don't know, Sarah. I might have voted for Brayden just because of, I mean, I'm sure if you're there in the studio, it's different, but I preferred Brayden's presentation in the Q&A in the final and whatnot. I just was kind of like, Ty, you're trying too hard. A little more impressed with like Brayden's cool confidence here. Yeah, and so I think I might have voted for Brayden. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it was kind of confusing, because I think a lot of people wanted to vote for Ty, and then maybe if they were on the edge, like Brayden might have pushed them over, is kind of what I was thinking. But yeah, I think too many sunsetters in that jury. You just kind of lean towards your alliance unless you're super, super bitter. Also, we have Canada's favorite house guest player, whatever.
First time ever. This is the Janelle of Big Brother Canada. Janelle. And we've got Kiefer, $10,000 winner.
Kiefer won it. I mean, I'm not surprised because you only vote for one night. Like, we get a week to vote for U.S. favorite house guest. And they gave us that golden Kiefer edit, said, hey, vote real quick before you go to sleep. And then, of course, he's going to win.
So vote, but you could vote for anybody the whole season. Think about the whole season. But we're just going to give you this one night after you really feel bad for Kiefer going home.
Specific edit. Yeah. That's interesting timing. So I'm not surprised that Kiefer won. But if I could have voted, I would have voted for Vic. I think she was.
Yeah, I kind of was surprised. It's too bad they didn't do like the top 3 vote getters were, or at least the top 2 or something. Because I think Victoria probably was up there because she was such a fun player.
Yes.
I'm going to guess Beth was
so entertaining. I'm going to definitely guess that Beth was at the bottom of the list. I don't know that she votes other than.
And I bet now, was Tara able to be voted for? Because I bet she would have gotten a lot of votes. People were really rooting for her towards the end.
Yeah, I assume she was eligible to be voted for, but I bet you people didn't because she's in the final 3. I don't know if people, you just automatically don't vote for those people because you think they might win. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a lot of people would have voted for Tara and Vic. There was a lot of love for Rohan on the Twitters.
Yeah.
I saw that. It would have been nice to have gotten a top 3 for sure. Yeah.
But congrats to Ty. Congrats to Kiefer. Congrats to Brayden. He still gets money for getting in second place. Congrats to Tara for making it to finale night. Just like a really solid final 4. Happy for all those players.
Really am. I hope that Tara feels really great about what she did. She played a great game there in that second half. She did what she had to do. Kiefer played such a good game the whole season.
Yeah.
He got a little chunk of change. Brayden played a great game, really did have to pivot. I mean, they all did. Ty deserves a win. Brayden deserves a little bit of money. I really just loved this whole season.
Yeah.
Seth, thank you for the super chat.
Thank you, Seth.
Thank you, as always, to Sarah and David for giving us such amazing content and coverage of an amazing season. The Nerdtainment is the real winner tonight. Yes, our community.
You guys are winners. Y'all are winners.
Love you guys. It would be so boring if David and I just sat here and talked to each other and
into the void. Oh my God, can you imagine? Oh,
I can.
We would do it anyway.
How we started all of it is how we just did it. Together. That's actually real life.
That's how it happened. That's how it started. This is how it's going, but that's how it started.
That's how it started. But this is so much more fun, right? We got this whole community who chats along with us, and we absolutely love it. You guys, honestly, it's because you guys were like, you'll have to watch Canada that we finally did it.
That's why we're here, because of you. So.
Yep. We finally got around to it.
We tried. We've talked about it before.
We
tried last year. We finally did it. We saw a whole season of Big Brother Canada, and it delivered. Like, this was such a good season to start on, from all of the incredible twists that we've talked about all season to such a strong Final Four, such a deserving winner. History has been made now in Big Brother North America, frankly. I don't know if is there a Big Brother Mexico? I don't know. But first Black winner in Canada and the United States. It's great. Such a fun season to watch, and I'm glad we did it.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you again, guys, for joining us live and this whole season with us. We will be down for videos, no content for the next 3 weeks. I'm taking time off. I will still be on the internet, though. I'll be on social media. If you're a patron, I'll still be on Discord. If you want to join and chat with us over there, we have lots of fun. But taking the rest of the month off, and then we'll be back for Big Brother US. Look, CBS put out a statement and said they, too, were going to cast.
They said that.
At least 50% BIPOC.
So if you don't think we are going to be counting, you're wrong. We will be counting and doing the math.
We can do math over here. Yeah,
okay.
We can.
Sarah did charts for the Circle. I don't know if you saw that. If you missed it, catch our recap of the Circle finale. But Sarah knows how to put things in a spreadsheet.
I sure do.
And find averages. So
and 50% is an easy one to figure out. It's not even complicated. It's not even. So we will do it. Bethy, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for watching. We love it. What else do I need to tell you guys? So we'll be on social media, but not videos. We'll be back for Big Brother US.
Yep.
I think that's it.
And I think there may be some changes coming soon, Sarah, that I don't want to, necessarily promise anything.
Oh yeah, no promises.
But tune in June, because there may be some new things happening.
Yes. When we take 3 weeks off, we're still working. The brain is still spinning. Right. We got thoughts. We got ideas.
Yeah.
So you wait.
Just wait.
Till we get back and maybe you'll see some of them.
Maybe. We're not promising anything, but we're just saying tune in because you might see something.
That's how we hang it. Well, I said thank you to the live chat. David, what do you say to people who might join us later?
You know how much I love all of you who join us later. So please leave us a comment and let us know what you thought about. I want to hear about Ty, Braden, and Tara's games from all of you guys. Are you happy that Kiefer won America's Favorite Player? And maybe your top moment from this season? Leave us your thoughts in the comments.
That sounds good. Thank you guys again. We'll see you soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.